Hey guys, this is HBK Grand making a video about the tutorial number 2 for Destiny 2. So last time we discussed about the tutorial and a little bit of tips and tricks on how to do it effectively. So today we're just going to be focusing on the character menu so you get a brief understanding of like what you're looking for and what those things are in the character menu, because that is actually what you're going to be working with throughout the whole gaming experience. So it's really important to understand from the beginning or the get-go how it works. So let's go check it out. So once you're done with your tutorial, you can come into your character menu when you are in the last city, and you can check out the stuff that you have and what you kind of are going for. Now, one thing to keep in mind is your stuff is shared between all three of your characters. So regardless of, like, let's say you made 2 titans or something like that, but usually people go 1 hunter, 1 warlock, and 1 titan, so they have a set of each. The only problem is armor pieces, like right here that you see, they do not get shared between the characters, but weapons do. But the ones that you have equipped, you cannot actually use them on other characters. So make sure you swap these weapons with another weapon before you're logging out of your character or changing your character. Now, understanding what these things are is really important because you will be going to hunt for these items at some point, or you're going to be looking for them. So you need to get a better understanding of like what you're going for, because each like quests or like missions or raids, they require a different type of setup, different type of weapons. So you need to know where you're going with this. But we're just going to discuss a little bit on the basics so that way you have a general idea, because right now we're just starting out and this is a beginner's guide. So a glimmer is basically a credits in the game you get by killing enemies, doing missions, anything that you do, you're probably going to get glimmer with that. Then you have the legendary shards. These are this can be acquired by dismantling the armor sets and pieces. I will show you guys that later. This is silver, so this is like a currency that you buy from real money. So apparently, like, I would say like the only best thing I would get right off the bat if you really want to do it is like spending 10 bucks and getting the season pass, because that gives you a lot more than anything else in the game. Then you have the bright dust, which is kind of like for cosmetics. It's like emotes, ships, ornaments, and all that kind of stuff. Then your power level. So this actually is, you start off with 750. So let's say it is your first day, you've never touched Destiny, you're going to start off with 750. The reason why you see 764 is because of my artifact. So when you're doing a season, you're going to gain a lot of XP, and because of that XP, you're going to get a power bonus. So right now, if you see, my power bonus is plus 14. So if you add that 750 plus 14, it will take you to 764. So they're all starting with 750. So let's quickly go here. So I picked up a piece like I was looting in the tutorial, and this is an 814. So if I equip it, it took me from 764 to 772. So if I get more gears like that one, I'm going to be going for higher power level with that. So the green ones would be uncommon, then you have the blue ones, which are the rare ones, and then you have the purple ones, which are the legendary, and then you have the gold ones, or the yellow looking ones, those are the exotic. So the numbers on the right are really important because they determine how you're going to be performing in missions, because they determine your survivability. Now here, let's start off with mobility. So this increases your movement speed and maximum jump height. So a lot of missions have parkour, they have timed missions and all that kind of stuff. So if you have like a higher tier for that one, it will help you a lot in those missions. Then you have resilience. So the amount of damage you could take before dying. So when your health bar is really low, try to evade at that time. Don't run into enemies because you're going to end up dying. Recovery, the amount of percentage that you're going to be recovering your health or whatnot. So if you have it like around tier 4 or 5, it would be great, whereas resilience tier 5 and 6 are really good too, because that should be like what you're going for, especially in the beginning section. Then you have discipline. So for your grenades ability, usually it's the L1 ability on the controller, so this will help you cool that down faster. So, but to be honest, like, you don't need this a lot, especially like if you have a good weapon. But in the beginning, I would suggest like leave it as it is, and then as you're going on, you can work on it. Then you have intellect, so the how fast you can generate enough energy to cast your ultimates or your power energies and all that kind of stuff. So I like to keep it above 4 or 5, somewhere there, because sometimes it's like a lot faster to get your ultimates and you can do massive amount of damage, because all classes have amazing like ultimates. I love all of them. Then you have strength. So this is actually your punch ability or your melees that you do. Usually on the controller it's R1, whereas if you have the ability open and ready to use, when you cast that, it does way more damage than a regular R1 punch. So using that ability. Now, where are we looking for these? It's going to be in your armor set. So I'm not going to go into all of them individually, but you can see over here, you're going to see your power level for your armor set or piece, and you're going to see the all those items that we just discussed and the numbers next to them. So for example, mobility is +7. So here's a tip for everybody. When you're farming for like armor pieces and whatnot that you're looking for, you're going to find that they have the same name, but different power levels and different roles in their abilities. So try to prioritize the ones that you actually want. So let's say in this case, for example, I wanted my first priority to be resilience, second priority to be mobility, and somehow I managed to get a high mobility gear. So this actually works in your favor. How? Because you can actually manage your first priority. If you go to the detailed section of that armor piece, you can actually mod it to increase that resilience. So you actually have an opportunity to increase whichever ability that you lacked but wanted to a higher level. So here, let's say I put resilience on this, and if I go like this, you're gonna see my resilience went from 7 to 17, and I actually have both of my priorities high now. Last thing you want to check out over here is your armor tier. So if you take it all the way up to level 10, you'll get like plus additional 2 bonuses for all of your abilities. Whereas you might not start off with 5, it could start off with 1 or 2 of the armor piece that you got and wanted. So you will have to level them up, and you will need like resources like glimmer, legendary shards, enhancement cores, even all the way up to like ascended shards and all that kind of stuff. Now if you see like 3 of the bars are highlighted and 2 are not, and it does say that you have 2 unused. So you'll always have like a general armor mod section, so you can add like any of the abilities over there that you were lacking, like I discussed earlier. And then you have like your leg armor mods, which can give you like weapon bonuses and all that kind of stuff. But when you have legendary or exotics, they will have more like slots, so that way you can put in more mods in there to make you stronger and stronger. So the left side is pretty easy to understand, but there are a few things that are a little bit different, so that's what I'm just going to be focusing on. So first off, what are these 3 symbols? So the first symbol is actually arc, this second symbol is void, and the third symbol is solar. So these are the 3 different type of subclasses for your characters. So whether you're warlock, hunter, or titan, they're basically going to be the same symbols, but their subclasses are like abilities. So if I just go into one of them, that will be your ultimate ability, but you can change it into like this one or this one. It's up to you. It will also tell you like what type of shields you want, so you will have to read them, what type of jumps you want, and what type of grenade ability you want. So moving on to the 3 types of weapons in the game. The first one are the kinetic weapons. These are pretty straightforward weapons, but there are some out there that are amazing. They wreck enemies. Small downside is that they do not carry like elemental damage, so most of the enemies which will have like these elements on, you won't be able to take down their shields as fast as you would if you had an energy weapon on. 2 things to remember here though. The primary section, if you see right there, there's a white bullet like inside a brick looking symbol. When you're killing enemies will be dropping those white bricks. The other thing is, if you see that adaptive frame, when you have legendary or exotic, there's going to be more than 3, and you can even put mods on them just like your armor pieces, and those will be actually very effective on enemies because they're different type of enemies. You could be fighting the same type of enemy in 3 different categories because there are enemies with higher tiers as well. Then you have the energy weapon. So if you see, as we discussed earlier, this one says 750 solar. So this one will do solar damage to enemies that are weak to solar. So you'll get similar to arc, void. But since this is a shotgun, so weapons like shotgun, sniper rifles, as you see there's 2 bullet symbols in that green brick looking symbol again. When you kill an enemy and you see that green brick drop, that means that is special ammo. You will also see it says aggressive frame, which looks different from adaptive frame. So just like the kinetic ones, you're gonna see in the legendary and the exotics that there's gonna be like multiple of these ones, and also you can equip mods and whatnot. Then the last one is the power weapons. These are like one-shot kill, like big damage and all that kind of type of weapons. So you will have swords, rocket launchers, grenade launchers, big snipers, like heavy bows. So they do a massive amount of damage. Whereas if you see that there is 3 bullet symbols with a purple brick on it, so when an enemy drops that, it will give you that heavy ammo. So again, you'll see that the symbol for this one is 750, but that arc symbol is there instead of like the solar symbol. So all these weapons, the power weapons and the energy weapons, will always have like different type of energy on them. So moving on to the Ghost, he's really important in the game as well. Some you can get from the PCs, some from their bounties and random drops and whatnot. The most important part that I find like they're really useful for are the resources. So a lot of the planets, they have like resources all around, but some of them are really harder to spot, especially like in Mars. Not that hard, but it's still like, you know, like it's a lot easier if you just have like a symbol on top of them, like or like they're really glowing so you could see it from far away. So these ghosts, like if you have them on the planets, you get the specific ones for each planet, and they can actually tell you like where those resources are, chests are. Also helps in other activities as well. Now the last one is your seasonal artifact. Now these seasonal artifacts, or the biggest deal about them is actually not the power bonus that I was discussing earlier, like it's giving me plus 14 power level. It does help because it will help me get a higher levels quickly. But what is the best part about this is these mods right here. So some of the mods, like for example, anti-barrier rounds. Enemies that have barrier shields, no weapon in the game can take that down. So you need this specific mod to actually take down their shields. So it is really important to be like understanding like what type of enemies you're going against, and these mods will actually help you get to that one. So this is really important to have, especially when you're doing like the higher end level of the stuff in the game. And lastly, it's basically this setup over here is pretty straightforward. You'll get a lot of vehicles over time. This is the ship that you see in your loading screen. These are the emblems. There are a lot of emblems. You can just store them when you get maxed out. Just make sure about that. But they will be like based on what you're doing in the game, and like all the different activities have a different type of it, and you will be getting like ranking banners type of thing. Then you have like your finishers, damaging enemies, and you're gonna see like a golden circle on top of their head. At that point, it will be different on like other platforms, but for PS4, you just press R3 and it does like a finisher damage. So right now it's like a punch in the face, like a fatality type of thing. Then you have emotes, so you can actually configure which type of emotes you have. So like right now I have like these ones. So thank you so much guys. If you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos from Destiny 2, because I am loving this game right now, and we will be sharing a lot more videos for this one as well. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all the support that people show. And this is HBK Grant taking off for the day. Have a great one guys. Take it easy.